Well, it's been some time. Hi guys, I'm back. It's been crazy. I've had a few projects and I got involved into even more projects. So I've been not here. I'm sorry. But we shall try to make it up. For those who are new to this channel, my name is Eugenia. I like soldering. I'm an artist, I do other things, but this channel is kind of about soldering at this point. So in this video, we're gonna be working on a pendant, an amethyst pendant, because I feel like this would be something that a lot of people would benefit from. I found her laying around my studio and I was like, oh my gosh, she is a beauty. She's so gorgeous. Traditionally, I make rings. This is what I do. I wear rings all the time. It's kind of my thing. If you saw my channel, you know that I make crazy wild rings and that's kind of my thing. But I was trying hard to make this, to envision it as a ring, but I feel like that is more a pendant. I hope you've been well. We should do a little catch-up video. And you know how I wanted to start this video and I didn't? Is I was going to say something like this. The best treasure chest that you can find is the one that you made yourself. Okay, that sounds so corny, but this is probably a tag from Michael's. But anyway, so I'm not gonna repeat myself. I just took off the tag, whatever. But you guys, we are blessed in a way that we are weirdos. Artists are weirdos in the most beautiful way. Like, I consider myself a weirdo, but like the best weirdo, okay? We are like that. We're weird, we're quirky, we're beautiful. We can make stuff. Not everyone can make stuff. Do you understand that? And just look at that. And I'll be showing you guys everything that I made. And this is just like a fraction because some of it was sold, some of it I gifted away, some of it I'm wearing right now, some of it is probably somewhere else, you know. I'm trying to pitch soldering to you, can't you see? Anyway, so in this video we're going to be working on a pendant, an amethyst pendant. And in one of my last videos I made this boy right here. Very cute. I was talking about using black copper tape. Now I'm gonna prep my desk, making sure nothing is in the way. Okay, we're gonna clear our thoughts. We're gonna tell ourselves that we're beautiful and capable and we can do whatever we want. Nothing will stop us, even our negative thinking, okay? If you're new to soldering, it could be a little bit challenging, and if it's not rewarding, sometimes when we start something new and it's not rewarding right away, we tend to drop it. So don't drop soldering, just continue doing it. It's gonna get better over time. You're gonna become professional in like 3-4 months, and soldering is gonna be so easy and very rewarding. Just wait, just continue. Don't get mad at yourself, you know? Okay, so I'm prepping my desk with soldering mat. I'm gonna turn on my soldering iron, obviously. I like to turn my soldering iron at the highest temperature available. I like to work with solder that's super hot and flowy, very like liquid state. I'm not creating any texture, I'm not creating any spikes. I want to cover surface as fast as possible. I probably have some lint on my attire that I didn't check, but this is not a beauty channel and you will forgive me. Let's set everything up. We're gonna have to wear our mask, our protective gear, and I'm gonna have my fan on. Let's start by wrapping amethyst with copper tape while our soldering iron is heating up. Let's do it. Okay guys, so we're gonna be using regular copper tape, and I will be using the one that most of you guys probably have. I think it's a 1/4 inch or 3/4. I don't understand inches, I'm sorry. It's like 9 millimeters, 8 millimeters wide. I'll put it down here, which one I'm using. I should learn it by now. Anyway, so let's zoom in a little bit. So I have my everything that I need here on me. I have flux, obviously. We have our main hero, right? First thing, when we look at the shape, we need to think, what is the most flattering way of handling it, right? This seems to be the most organic, natural, flattering way of showcasing an amethyst as a pendant. Not this way, because you'll be covering the most beautiful part, which is purple, right? So if you all agree, I feel like we would all agree, this is better. So I'm gonna be taping around this part, and this part will be the one that the world will get to see, okay? Problem with this is that it's not very smooth. As you can see, it has a lot of crannies and like bumps, and it's not a smooth surface. So you have to be aware of that when you're applying copper tape. Make sure that you cover every single point of contact between copper tape and amethyst. Because if it's loose and it has any gap, air, or it's just loose, it's not going to be a strong bond. And we really rely on copper tape and the stickiness of copper tape when we solder. So have to be very, very careful to not overlook it, okay? Let's begin. To make my life easier, I'm just gonna tear a little bit, right? And now we're going to be covering this whole surface, but not too much, because like I feel like here is a good point, but I want to show a little bit of white. But again, if I'm gonna cover just a little bit, it's gonna be not strong enough because this is heavy. So you kind of have to go all the way like down here to create the setting. So what I'm doing, I'm wrapping it so it's super snug to the surface, super tight. Sometimes they could be tricky, these points. So just make sure you don't cover, don't like overlap it. Otherwise, what I tend to see, often you will apply solder and it will just get undone. So instead of just covering the tip, go a little bit over, okay? Like make sure it's going kind of around all the way down the shape. You'll thank me later. That's gonna be a better bond, okay? So let's continue. Let's cover it, the whole thing. In places that there are none. You see how I'm doing? I'm like, I'm using more than I need, okay? That's important, guys. It's okay to do multiple layers. It's fine, okay? So now we're gonna get to the point where we're going to be pressing copper tape against the surface. Make sure there are no bubbles, air bubbles, wrinkles. Just make sure it's fully snug to the surface. Just be careful not to tear the tape, otherwise you have to apply it again, okay? You see how this is kind of at the angle right now? I don't know if you can see there's a reflection, but I don't like this. So it's easy to fix it now rather than fixing it when you apply solder, right? So all you have to do, you can just use your nails or use scissors, and you can just cut a little piece or completely scrape it off like this, and just create the line that you want. Because once solder is stuck, it's going to be that border, right? It's going to stay like that. So it's important for aesthetics. So I'm pretty happy with this. That's a good little setting. We have our soldering iron on and ready. Now we're going to apply flux. Again, I have obviously a few messages from you guys. You seem to be happy with this flux. Sometimes paste creates that black kind of residue, which I've had a lot when I was using paste flux. So I highly recommend using this. This would not leave any residue. You will thank me later. This is really important. You have to use lead-free solder in order to wear pieces that you make. So this is lead-free. And another thing I want to mention is the soldering iron. Care for soldering iron. Okay, so you can see, let me just show you before we start soldering. This is getting pretty hot, if it's going to focus. So I don't know if you can see, you probably can see now, but you see there is some kind of like metal shreds attached to my soldering iron. Guess where it's from? It's from me conditioning it after I was done soldering last time. So again, for those who are new to this channel, I'm going to be repeating that every single time I make a soldering video. You have to condition your tip after you're done soldering. By conditioning, I mean once you're done soldering, you're going to turn off your iron and you're going to apply that same solder that you used to attach rings to soldering iron. Just attach a little bit, cover it, and leave it as is. Leave the tip of a soldering iron with some solder, period. Leave some solder on it, okay? Cover it. Cover it fully. It's going to prevent it from oxidation. If it's going to oxidize, it won't be picking up solder. This is probably number one reason of why you guys might be struggling while soldering, is because it's not conditioned. It's oxidized, and once it's oxidized, it's not picking up solder. So just make sure to condition it quickly once you're done and store it as is. I said it. I said what I said I would. I'm gonna be putting on my mask. So by the end of this video, I'm gonna have beautiful imprints on my face, but you're not gonna judge me because you love me, we're friends, and this is not a beauty channel. So let me put this on. You know what? For you, I'll just turn off the... It's okay. I'm not usually soldering a lot, so I'll be fine. But like, I will turn off the fan, the fan for you, so you can hear me. But you should keep the fan on, okay? So I'm going to apply flux. All over the shape, okay? We're gonna shape this, as I mentioned to you in the past, like a question mark, right, towards you. So it's easy to access, like this. Here it is. Everything out of the way. Here's our piece. Let's begin. So we have our soldering iron, nice and hot. At 822, I'm yelling, at 822 Fahrenheit. This is what I'm doing. I'm rotating. I don't know why, but it's been working for me. To clean a tip. Okay? This is what we're doing. We're going to be getting a little bit of solder. You see how easy? And I haven't soldered for a while, but you see how my iron is like cooperating? Because it was covered. So now we're going to just apply some solder onto the piece. Again, it's super hot. And I'm holding it with my bare hands because you know why? It's not hot yet. So I have to work quickly. Let me zoom in. Right here. How I'm bringing my soldering iron to this, and then I'm just waiting for the solder to drop. Look. Drop. Another drop. So that way you can like cover surface much quicker. Let me show you once again. Look. I'll show you right now. Drop, another drop. See how I'm working so closely to the soldering wire, and that's how I do it. And then I just spread it like butter. Now it's hot. Now I have to like figure out how to hold it. Yeah, I need to get like a glove. Do I have a glove here? I don't. This is an interesting shape. So if I'm struggling like that, just put it down. If it's too heavy and it keeps dropping, like I dropped it a couple times, so I laid it down. Let me see. Alright, so now that everything is covered, right? All I'm doing right now is like perfecting the texture. Right? That's all I'm doing. If I want it to be smooth, I can make it smooth. If I want it to be rough, I can make it rough. Whatever we want to do. I'm just like working with texture. And this is enough of solder right now at this point. So all I'm doing is basically melting it where I think it needs to be melted and maybe adding more. But at this point it has a lot of solder. It's fine. This is really good. Okay. So I might have some lines, but that's okay, as I mentioned. So it took us like 5 minutes. 5 minutes to cover this. This is half of the headache, because it's not a headache, it's half of the process, and we enjoy the process, but that was easy, right? We covered it. Now adding the bail. Try to find a place where you can stand your piece vertically. So I usually do what I usually do. I would use rice or anything like that, like salt, and I would put my piece in sand or salt or rice, and it would be standing vertically, and then it has all the support, and then I would be able to attach, hold bail, and then my soldering iron, and then the other, and I would be able to easily attach pendant to a bail. I might have forgotten my salt jar, so we're gonna figure out other ways. Let's figure out how to stand that baby up. Okay, you'll know what I mean in a minute. So I have a duct tape. This is a little bit dangerous because duct tape can leave that residue because this piece will get overheated. It's already super hot, but basically I'm risking, and I'm trying to use this, and I'm gonna tape my amethyst down, but in a vertical position, so it will be easy for me to access. I don't think this is so wide. I don't think my third hand can handle it. You know, they have like tiny little, you know, it doesn't work like that. I mean, ideally, just use a glass jar, add some salt, and you'll be able to place your pieces vertically, okay? But we're gonna be figuring out how to do it with duct tape, and that's totally fine, and we should be able to do it. So, going to cover my piece. It's gonna be successful. Let's see. going to cover my piece, and you'll see what I'm doing. I'm trying to make sure it's gonna stay up, okay? It doesn't have to be pretty, just have to work. I know, it's like, might not make any sense, but it will work. See? See, now it's like, it's temporarily, it's fine. We created a spot for us to easily access the tip. Now we'll be able to easily add our bail, our jump ring on top. I didn't think about one thing. I didn't think about composition. Is this too giant? Is this too big of a bail for this piece? Is it gonna look like a cheap keychain? Because it might. This can really ruin your piece. It's really important to finishes. Don't overlook them. If this can, I feel like this looks too big. But we also learned from this piece in the past that we can make our own bail. You remember this piece? For those who didn't watch the video, I can link it for you. So I can really make my own. But let me think. Let's think what we can do, okay? All right, so I found something smaller, which I like much better than this, because look, this would look like a cheap keychain. I don't know why I feel that way, but also this would be more difficult to attach because it's heavier. This is lighter. So just make sure it's fully closed, like so. I had to unwrap it because I wanted to see what side of it is the prettiest. This is laying flat. This would be something that would work. And you would ask me, why, Eugenia, can we just lay it flat like that and have no worries and try to attach a jump ring this way, while it's flat? Well, because then it would be attached to this side of the pendant. We kind of want to center it, okay? If you don't want to center it, this is the easiest way. You don't have to have any assistance whatsoever. But because I want it to be on top and towards the middle, I'm going to be standing this guy up, okay? So we're gonna use the same duct tape to save the environment. So when you are attaching bail, have your iron hot, obviously flux the actual jump ring, okay? You're going to go ahead and flux this part of a, no one can see what I'm doing. So you're going to go ahead and flux this part of a jump ring, and you're also going to flux the top of this mountain, okay? You can be gangster and you can use your bare hands and you can quickly set this boy up right here. Again, when you're doing that, you have to make sure you don't forget which way you decided to set it. What is the prettiest side? Did I forget? No, I didn't. Okay. The prettiest side was kind of this one. Okay, this is the prettiest side. So this is my orientation because it's hot, we can forget. Like, always check with yourself. Is that the right way? It is the right way. I flux both of them. Okay. So now I'm going to quickly, and this, I have like one try, okay? I have one try because then it's going to be hot and then we're going to have to use our tweezers. So let's try to live life on the edge and go ahead and not use any. I'm going to use a lot of solder. I'm going to clean it up later. Okay, here we go. And I did it. See that? So we are in a very fragile state right now. Like, do not move. Because if you're going to move, it's going to fall. Because it's not secure yet. So then I'm looking to see, is that crooked? Do I like it? Can I live with that? Or do I need to unsolder it and do it again? I kind of don't mind it. I might go ahead and try to melt the back, but I'm risking of this jump ring falling down. I'm risking the meltdown. I'm risking, but I'm gonna try to. All right, so I did it. Nothing really changed. So I might be able to. This is really hot, but you might be able to manipulate it, but sometimes you can't. You could manipulate it by using pliers and like. This is stuck pretty well. Sometimes it's like very fragile. So what I'm saying is that if you don't like it to be at any angle, it's at a little bit of angle, but I can forgive myself. It's fine. But if you don't like it, remelt it. It's gonna fall right off, and you're gonna be able, with tweezers then, because it's hot at this point, reattach it. Okay? But I don't mind it. We're gonna continue. Let's add more solder. This is another tricky part. If you're gonna add more solder and you're gonna add solder in a wrong spot, you're risking melting the back, and you're risking the whole thing basically completely like melting down and bail falling. So be careful. Put tiny drops, let it dry. Don't like spend a lot of time going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. You're gonna melt this whole thing. When you're touching bail, it's like it's very delicate. It's like tap, 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 tap. It's not like tap and hold, because when you tap and hold, you're gonna melt off the whole thing. So what you're doing right now, you're building more and more solder and making the joint super strong, and that's it. And then you can go ahead and like kind of glide over it to get rid of any bumps. But right now your job is basically to add as much solder by tapping and not holding around the joint. Okay, right here. So let's continue. So there's gonna be one you're gonna have to place in the middle like this, you can see. So at this point I'm pretty secure actually. Now we're gonna just continue adding solder. I'm not gonna be spending more time cleaning it up. I will be just making sure my joint, my bail is super secured with a lot of material. Okay, there's a lot of material right now. See, I'm doing cleanup. I shouldn't be doing cleanup. I'm just attaching my solder. So, and we're gonna drop the last point right here. So basically, I'll tell you how many points. So front, back, side, side, and then right here in the middle. Right here is very important. You have to cover it as well. It's going to be super, super, super strong. And I did. So if this looks ugly to you, so this is now super strong. You see how it's like super, super strong. It has a lot of material of solder. So now we're at the point where we're safe. It's not going to fall. But again, if you're going to hold it for too long, you are risking the whole thing melting down. So just spend a little bit of time, you know, just cleaning it up to your liking. Maybe you like it when it's like that. Maybe you want it to be smoother. So like while you have this opportunity, clean it up a little bit. But don't go crazy because you could risk like damaging it and melting the whole thing off. Okay? This is strong. Like look how strong. This is super strong. I'm happy. Another thing, one more thing. When you're doing this, don't get any solder onto the jump ring because it's gonna look DIY and unprofessional. Unless you're going for something like this. You see, like I kind of left it as a vine. Then I would go crazy. I have a little bit of solder here. Let's see if I can just clean it up. I made a little boo-boo. You see how it's stuck now? Okay, it's off. Now it's off. Okay, we're done. We're done. Let's do a final reveal. Anticlimactic reveal. I was thinking about making this video for like, I don't know how many months, and I was done in like 30 minutes, okay? My camera is crooked. Lesson for all of us artists out there, don't think, just do, okay? So this is hot for me to hold it in my hands, but I am willing to sacrifice my... It's too hot. Okay, I found an old Maluma t-shirt. Don't ask me how I got it and why. Oh, I can hold it this way. Never mind. Guys, we did it. See? Okay, see what I did? Because I was not paying attention. You see how I said I don't like when but it's like, it's such a minor thing, you know, like that's where you make sure that you apply copper tape the way you want it. Otherwise, you will end up with those little, but whatever, it's fine. I'm happy with this, but usually at this point, I would just look at the piece that I just created, and I would look to see, I'm basically inspecting to see if there are any orange copper tape peeking through still. If it is, then I'm gonna go and like touch it up because sometimes we can miss it. Also, I'm making sure the joint is super strong. You won't be able to do anything, and it's big enough for this weight. And basically that's it. The next step would be conditioning soldering iron, as I mentioned. So this is what I'm gonna do. Let me show you. I turn off my soldering iron. It's off, completely off. This is still hot. I'm going in and I'm going out here and I'm going to condition it with solder. I'm going to condition my tip like that with the same soldering wire I used to make our beautiful amethyst pendant. That's it. That's the secret. This is $1 million secret, okay? This is now sealed with metal, okay? So I'm placing it back, and I'm gonna cover this And we're good to go till next time. You see? It's covered. I turned off my iron. I conditioned it like I just showed you. So now I'm going to go ahead and wash my piece with soap and water, okay? Because we use flux, and flux is poisonous, so you have to wash it. And you have to wash your hands very carefully and very thoroughly, okay? So then it's gonna be like a little post-production. Post-production, I mean, you're gonna close your eyes and you're gonna connect to your piece. No, you're gonna close your eyes for real. This is what I do. I close my eyes and I look for any rough and spiky spots. I see one. I'm gonna give it to someone and they're wearing a beautiful silk blouse, or they're just humans, they're gonna cut themselves. This is sharp as glass. I mean, the solder that formed at the top of the pendant, usually it's, I don't know about you guys, but I always find some sharp pieces, and we don't want people to get hurt. We don't want to get hurt ourselves. So there are two remedies. We either gonna file it using the filing set. When you're filing using filing set, you're gonna wear a mask because you don't want any tiny little particles, metal particles, to stay in your system, obviously. So I'm not gonna be filing it right now, but I would put my mask on, go outside. Don't neglect it. Like, those little things add up. If you're gonna be doing a production or working, having like an Etsy shop, you're gonna be doing it a lot. So just build a habit of always protecting yourself. Very important. So you're gonna file it using a mask and probably glasses outside. Then you're gonna, you might wanna use some sandpaper. I bought this on Amazon. It's like from very coarse to 2500 and up. You can use sanding paper. I usually use both. I want to warn you, sometimes you can leave some scratches. So be careful. Don't just like go crazy. If you're going to go crazy, if you're going to apply too much pressure, you're going to get to the copper tape, or you're going to get through the copper tape into your piece and you're going to damage your piece. So be very gentle, okay? Just kind of like tiny little motions, you know, just to get this sharp edge off, and then polish it with a little bit of sandpaper. Do that, you know, you have to do this because you have to polish it and make sure it's safe to wear. These are all my secrets. This is pretty much everything. Let's find some chain or like a cord. Oh, I can't really find good chain, so let's just pretend. So think about it, because chain also matters how it's gonna look. I can't find the proper chain for this, so I have a part of a chain that I would be using. I really like this. This is like very brutalism, primal, Rick Owens esque. I would like it to be basically on a chain, similar chain like that. I feel like it looks really beautiful. That's option number one. Option number two, we can use something cute like rhinestone chain. So I have this rhinestone. I bought it off Amazon. It's pretty great. It's pretty great. Like, it has tiny little rhinestones. It's great. But you can use it as a chain. And this would be like more Erykah Badu style, I would say. If the camera can pick up. But basically, those are tiny little crystals. And it would look super cute again. You can turn this into a keychain. Something that I was afraid it's gonna look like a keychain. You can totally turn it into a keychain. You can use leather cord and put it through leather cord. Let me show you, like double or single. I don't have one laying around right now, but you see, like, this is very like boho and very like Californian mom situation, you know, abatkini. So yeah, but regardless, like, you made something amazing, unique. And amethyst is also purple, and I'm Aquarius, obviously, so this is kind of one of my favorite stones. So yeah, let's look through the treasures real quick of what I have to inspire you, and I'll let you go, I promise. So this is all the pieces that I made at some point. Okay, I have been wearing this ring almost every day, like, love. And look, now we're matching. Okay, another one of my favorite rings actually is this one. So it's just those glass beads that you can find like in any I don't even know, I think you can find them in Michael's or like any home goods store. Beautiful. And just to explore, just to show you what you can use as materials, right? So I'm going to be using this fish as my ring. It's so cheesy, but I'm obsessed with her. She's so cute. So I'm going to maybe set it like that. I don't know how I'm gonna figure out how to do this, but she's so cute. This is another amethyst ring that I did. It's much smaller. It's much smaller than this one, but like so if you want to make an amethyst ring but you're afraid of sizes like that, this is still big, but gorgeous. You know? Everyone always comments about this ring. I just want to give you a little bit of inspo before we finish this video. Then, don't be afraid. Look, this is a giant ring, okay? And it was vintage porcelain. This is hand painted. Look at this beautiful Japanese man. It has all these gold details. Then this is a beautiful ring. I love this coral ring. You guys, I have a video on my channel. You saw this video. You know, this is also porcelain. Cute. Time favorite rings. I once lost it and it came back to me because it belongs to me. But you see what I'm doing? It's clear. It's a clear glass. You can see through it. I found glass somewhere, I don't know, Manhattan Beach or whatever, and I attach a bunch of things. This looks weird and interesting. What else? This was an experiment. This is not soldering. I don't know. It kind of didn't work out. Kind of tried to use resin. Whatever. You know, I fail. This one I have a video on my channel about. This is basically men's made and nature's made. Playing with that. This was my first ceramics porcelain ring that I made, so I'm keeping it as a little souvenir for myself as a reminder. I can show you the whole cutting, like how I can show you a video. I can make a video if you want me to on how to cut porcelain. It's dangerous. I cut myself multiple times, but there's a kit that you buy. But you can learn how to do this. I survived. This is another way of finishing those beads. You see? Let me show you. Let me show you. You see? It's just a different version. Very beautiful. They crack when you solder. They go, and they do crack, but they stay, and it's an interesting effect. What else is like cute? Oh, the two birdies. Look, two birdies. Just to give you an inspo. Some of you guys are messaging me and like, you're so sweet on Etsy. Few people, you show me your beautiful pieces that you make, and it literally makes me cry every single time. So this is a boo-boo. So let me show you what I'm talking about, what I'm telling you not to touch your pieces too much because they can fall. So this is what happened to this ring. As you can see, you see this crater right here? This happened. You see this crater right here? This happened because one of the corals became too loose and it fell. There's a remedy. You can add epoxy and then secure it back. It's a weird ring. You cannot really use it. It's like, I don't know, it was wild. But I let it be, you know? Like, and then these ones are just something simple, you know? I don't know. I didn't like the finish. I would have done a better job now. So that's it, guys. That's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was as spontaneous and crazy as all of my videos are. I hope you learned something. I hope there was some nuggets of gold that I sprinkled here and there. I usually share everything. I always share everything with you, everything that I know about soldering. I really want you to succeed and make beautiful pieces that you can share with your friends. Don't be afraid to make something giant. No one's gonna judge you. If they're gonna judge you, whatever, you know, you're making it for yourself. Yeah, make something beautiful, share with your friends, wear it yourself, and be proud and create your own treasure chest, right? Anyway, I hope this was fun. I'll see you guys in my next one. I love you all. I'm gonna hug, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!